Hello everyone, I'm Tribalkai and welcome to the EDH channel. Today's video is sponsored by a good friend of the channel, Bootleg Greedo. If you'd like to support the channel as well, then you can visit Patreon and donate with the link in the description below. Failing that, a like, comment and subscribe is always appreciated. Now, let's have a look at everyone's opening hands. Yeah, I'll just keep this one and we'll say that we're going slow this game. Okay. I have just skipped through my turn somehow. Don't even think I pressed a single key on the keyboard there, so... Alright, that feels bad. We're a turn behind for the rest of the game. Alright, now it's Greedo's turn. Hands away from the keyboard. And hopefully it doesn't just pass through our turn again. Okay, it did stop on the upkeep last time. And then it just passed straight through. Okay, it's worked this time, so... We weren't going to play out Draga Warcaller on turn 1 anyway. We weren't going to play the Mass Vandal on turn 2, but... Yeah, I would really have liked to have had 2 lands in play by now. Ready for a turn 3, either Growing Rites of Itlimoc or Realm Waker. Farseek from Maya. Cultivate from Greedo gets him into his colours and some more ramp. Speaking of ramp, we are getting into it at least, and we've got a 3rd land to make. Felt bad having to discard that land, but we've at least got some means of ramping now. Saheeli, Sublime Artificer, will make a bunch of servo tokens as the game progresses. So I'm guessing that this is a Super Friends version of Sisay. Retreat to Emeria. And then the first creature and commander of the game coming down, Jilanra, Caller of Wirewood, followed by Strionic Resonator, which copies a triggered ability for 2 and tap. There's another land, don't mind seeing that, so we'll go Farhaven Elf here. And then it's Sisay, Weatherlight Captain, now a 4/4. So if they drop a land next turn, they'll be able to activate that and grab something decent. Gavany Township from the Celestia player now to put plus counters on every creature they control, making a core ally thanks to the enchantment. And then it is their Human Warrior Commander. Then another commander coming into play, Nadia, Agent of the Dust Knell. Okay, Imperious Perfect. Yeah, I suppose we could get that down. Or maybe Realm Walker to try and get into some of these mana dorks, of which we've got plenty in the deck. Yeah, let's go Realm Walker here. Name Elf. And we've got ourselves a Mana Crypt on top, which should make up for the fact that we had to discard a forest. Yeah, we're just passing at that, I think. We'll have 6-7 mana available to us next turn. So I might even go for Imperious Perfect and Growing Rites of Itlimoc. Go, just passing straight through the turn, because he has, doesn't have his 5 colours actually, doesn't have green for this. So, yeah, not sure what the plan is there, but holding up something regardless. Fertile Footsteps will make a land and trigger landfall for Billy Kills. Then Intangible Virtue, +1/+1 and Vigilance to his tokens. And the 3/3 comes in towards us. Now a Scute Swarm coming into play for Bootleg Greedo, and making a land for the Scute Swarm straight away. And copying the trigger on that with the Strionic Resonator, so hopefully we don't see a Scute Swarm breaking the client today. They get 3 Scute Swarms anyway. So then it's round to our turn. We're not having the best of luck getting into Elves off the top. Growing Rites of Itlimoc might help us on that front though. We'll go Growing Rites of Itlimoc here. We have all permanents apart from Primal Surge in the deck, by the way. I did make a 1v1 list for that, but didn't manage to get into Primal Surge, so I think we'll try and get it done here. Put the Elvish Champion into hand. We're not going to make much use of Toski until we've got a bunch of creatures in play. Now a Well-Wisher is on top. Yeah, I think Well-Wisher is going to make people swinging at us. Imperious Perfect might as well, but we'll get Summoning Sickness away from that so that we can start making some tokens to chump block with. Hold back all of our creatures as blockers. Could have gone for, I think it's 4 creatures we need. Yeah, 4 or more creatures, so we could have gone for the Well-Wisher and a Masked Vandal, but I'd rather keep hold of this and get rid of a problem permanent. But we could have had this flipped around into Itlimoc Cradle of the Sun by the end of our turn. It's good that we're up against 3 green players as well for the Elvish Champion. Might be able to one-shot someone with that. We need Go-Go to get into a forest at this point though. Noteworthy that Go-Go didn't do anything during that turn. Anyway, passing straight through his turn again, and it is Billy Kill's Court of Grace this time. We'll get him into some Angels or Spirits. And this time, some creatures going in towards Greedo to encourage him to get rid of these Scute Swarms. When these copies go down, they are tokens, so they will feed the Nadia, Agent of the Dustnail, but deciding not to block and just takes a hit for 9. Then Black Blade Reforged. Over to Greedo's turn, and now that is Erebos, Bleak-Hearted. And they're down to 5 cards after casting Explosive Vegetation, which triggers the Scute Swarms a bunch, and they start to duplicate and triplicate and all the rest of it. So now with 4, 8 and 9 Scute Swarms in play, and we reveal a Wirewood Herald off the top. So I think we can go for the Wirewood Herald. We'll definitely go for the Lord of Leaves as well. Gives all of our stuff Shroud and Forest Walk. Then it can be Heritage Druid as well off the top. And there is Primal Surge, excellent. We can't actually cast it yet, but as soon as we can, that should be... Well, hopefully that should be game for us. What else do we want? Let's get Summoning Sickness away from the Well-Wisher. And then we'll tap the Imperious Perfect before we lose the mana. So we'll just leave it like that. And we need to hope that our board stays intact. We are in board wipe territory thanks to the Scute Swarm. But we at least don't have to worry about spot removal thanks to the Eladamri, Lord of Leaves, giving our stuff Shroud. A green source coming down for Go-Go. That's the only thing he was missing here, I think. He's had to skip the last few turns of his. A Cultivate makes a Servo token. We did flip over into Itlimoc, by the way, so we've got a bunch of green mana there as well. Blue mana being held up by Go-Go, unfortunately. But we've got Strip Mine for getting rid of the double blue at least. Now Court of Grace triggers, and that will make a 4/4 Angel. And they played a land there. There is a Sundering Growth. Not sure what that went on there. Oh, the Strionic Resonator going down. And they do get to populate. But they've only got 1 Angel in play there. I would have thought they'd make another Angel there, but apparently not. Oh. They've made a Scute Swarm somehow. Alright, so they got into their own Scute Swarm. I missed that, so they've populated their own Scute Swarm. And now a bunch of Scutes are blocking the humans that are coming in. Which is probably a good idea, so that they don't absolutely litter the board. The more Scute Swarm triggers that go on the stack, the worse it's going to be for the client. A bunch of creatures die, so Greedo can pay life, a couple of life per creature that died to draw if he wants to. Nadia will get some counters on there as well. It's noteworthy that the Eladamri gives all elves Shroud, or all other elves even, so the Nadia can't be targeted, and neither can the Jalanra. Then at the end of the turn, Kills drew a card up to 3, and playing a land to trigger the Scute Swarms again. 10 cards in hand here. So Conrad the Grim coming into play. And then a Michaeloth, I do like that one. Looks like it's devouring some Scute Swarms. Yep, goes up to 6+ counters, so it's a 10-10, which triggers Nadia and Erebos again. Also triggers Conrad the Grim this time. Greedo just decided to stay at 8 cards in hand, doesn't take any more life to the Erebos. And we are going to go Strip Mine onto the Hallowed Fountain, so that we don't have to worry about double blue. I was just saying to them in the chat that I'm pretty sure I've built a fatal error into my deck in that I think some creatures enter and draw a card when they enter, and there's no choice in the matter, we have to draw a card. And the whole point is that we flip our deck upside down with Primal Surge, so yeah, that might be a big issue here, but we'll see. I think I might have made that grey error. This might get countered anyway, so we'll go for the Primal Surge. Go-Go is holding priority over there, so there might be counter magic. A negate or something like that would do it. Disdainful Stroke. Well, it lands, so we just put everything into play here as far as I can tell. We might be able to leave ourselves with a card or two. Doesn't really matter about things like Toski and the Frostfang, because we have to hit our opponent with those, and then we'll draw the cards on the stack, but by that point our opponent should be dead anyway, so I don't really mind that. But there are some cards that will enter and draw as a card and force us to draw with an empty library, so we do have to be careful of that. Kenrith's Transformation comes down and we will enchant the Sisay immediately. But yeah, it's all permanents in our deck, so hopefully we'll be able to not lose here, but I'm not entirely confident. As we can see here, we've got Soul of the Harvest in play. That is a May ability, but we've got the other one as well, which is the one I'm thinking of. I took out Elvish Visionary at the last second, I think, which you also have to draw with. So what we really want here is enough creatures in play and haste, which we've got with the Concordant Crossroads, and a means of buffing them all. Beast Whisperer, that's one I didn't think of as well. That might force us to draw as well. Where did the Beast Whisperer go? Yeah, just looking over at the deck list here, and yeah, you draw a card with Beast Whisperer, so we're going to have to leave quite a few cards in our library, I think. Managed to get ourselves into the Elvish Archdruid as well, so if we didn't have enough mana to get down Ezuri and pump our entire army, we do now. Yeah, there's Marwyn the Nurturer as well, so we'll be able to stop soon, I think. Okay, I'm just going to leave 10 cards in the library, and hopefully that's enough. There's a bunch of triggers to go through here. So it's Elvish Warmaster. Will make us a token that only triggers once a turn, but we can buff our army with that as well if we want to. And then Soul of the Harvest. Then we've got Wolf Rider triggers as well. Whenever another elf enters under our control, we gain life equal to the toughness. So we'll be gaining a bunch of life in the process here. Marwyn gets plus counters on it whenever a creature enters. Green Warden of Marassa and Eternal Witness are in here to grab back things like the Elvish Archdruid and the Primal Surge. If Primal Surge gets countered, then we want to be able to grab it back, so that's what those are in here for. Rex Sage can go on to... I don't think it really matters, we'll just put it on the court. Get rid of the Black Blade with the Viridian. Then Crater Hoof goes on the stack. And then Nissa can have a search for a forest, and she can flip herself around into a Planeswalker. Yeah, that's the one I was worried about, is the Primordial Sage. But, oh, that's whenever you cast a creature. Alright, so that's lucky. Yeah, I thought I might have made an error in my deck building there. So Nissa turns into a Planeswalker. Path to Exile goes from Go-Go onto the Scute Swarm, that damn Scute Swarm. They'll make a servo token in the process. Ironic actually, because they're going for Path to Exile. If Greedo were to search for a land there, then they would have triggered a bunch more Scute Swarms, so getting rid of a Scute Swarm in order to make a bunch more. Allosaurus Shepherd is on top of our library now as well, if we were worried about counter magic. Which I think we're well beyond worrying about that now. That can also buff our entire army. There's that, Ezuri, and the card that I can't see, the new one. Ah, there we go. The Elvish War Master can buff our entire army as well, but we've got Craterhoof into play, as we're seeing on the stack now. So, yeah, they're a bunch of 40 power and toughness creatures at this point. That's another one we'll have to be careful of. Actually, Kenrith's transformation came down and forced us to draw a card, so these are all things that we need to learn about the deck as we play it. Anyway, Marwyn gets down the plus counters, and she taps for mana equal to her power, so the plus counters hardly matter. We go up to 352 life, and then a token must have come in or something, so it triggers the Marwyn and the Wolverine Riders again. I don't want to make fun of my opponent's time too much, but let's tap down the Elvish Archdruid for 29 mana. We'll go for the Allosaurus Shepherd. That will make a token. It will force us to draw with the Primordial Sage and the Beast Whisperer and the Vanquisher's Banner, so yeah, I think we're pushing our luck here. I was going to try and get down Ezuri and buff the army with that, but yeah, I think we're disrespecting our opponent's time a little bit here anyway, so let's just turn in sideways. Okay, so we can use that mana to give all of our creatures base power and toughness of 5/5 with the Allosaurus Shepherd. Then we'll buff with the Elvish War Master as well. Buff with the Elvish War Master again, that's +2/+2. And then what we could do, if we weren't bothered about the triggers, we could go Elvish Champion and make sure that we can get through, but we definitely can at this point because we've got Trample on all of our stuff. So a bunch swinging in at Go-Go and Billy Kills, and we'll put the rest in towards Greedo. And I'd be very surprised if that's not enough to kill our opponents. We do have Flying and Vigilance and Shroud and Protection from Black and Red thanks to Akroma's Memorial and the Eladamri. And there we are, taking our opponents down to -244. -448 and -868. Big thank you to my opponents for playing that out. That was a solitaire game towards the end there. As we can see, we trigger things like Toski and the Auron Frostfang for card draw, and I think, yeah, we have to draw a card with that. So obviously, if for some reason someone's gained 1,000,000 life and we can't take them down with combat damage like this, then we'll probably deck ourselves with Auron Frostfang and or Toski. So there are a few cards that we have to be careful of entering the battlefield and forcing us to draw, but yeah, I thought I might have built a fatal error into the deck there, but apparently not. We just have to be careful about the things that enter and force us to draw. Hopefully you all enjoyed that one. Be sure to leave it a thumbs up and subscribe if you did. You can consider supporting monetarily on Patreon as well. The link in the description will take you through to Patreon directly. Big thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time. I'm tribalkai on the EDH channel. Thank you for watching.